Falcon Nation, Falcon fans, welcome to Dirty Fanatics United, episode 144 here for the DFU crew. I am your host, C Money, followed by my co-host, Philip, Robert, Rick. Rick is not here tonight, so shout out to Rick. We'll get with Rick very soon on the next podcast. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button and be sure to leave a comment because we love talking Dirty Bird football. Falcon fans, we have a special guest for you tonight, a diehard Atlanta Falcon fan, another Falcon content creator for another mindset here for the channel tonight. We're going to get to that very shortly, so stay tuned for that. Philip, shout outs before we get our special guest in here, brother.
Shout outs?
Oh, well, you know, like introduction to the show. What's going on, brother? How you doing?
Oh, all right, man. It's been very blessed, man. It's been a very good day today, man. We had a nice little day out of town. I got back a couple hours ago. You know, other than that, man, it's just been a very relaxed day. I'm ready to talk some football, bro.
We have a lot to talk about, man, and it's crazy that we have so much to talk about right after the draft, but it's the fact of how well the Atlanta Falcons really dominated the 2025 NFL Draft. Cody, coming to you right now, brother. How you been? Glad to have you tonight here for episode 144. The title of tonight's show, Atlanta Falcons 2025 equals winning. That's your title for tonight's show. Cody, what's going on, brother?
Man, not much. Just been working through the work week. Had to work today, but you know, finally ready to enjoy my 1 day weekend. Talk Dirty Bird football, and hey, man, we hit 500 subscribers today.
Hey,
let's go, boys.
Cody's ready to chat about it, so we might as well throw it up on the screen, baby. 500 today officially on the YouTube. So shout out to everybody that has hit that subscribe button, man. DFU is going to do something big for you guys coming up very shortly for the 500 subscribers, man. We appreciate y'all. Much love. Also, do not forget to enter the chance to win the Warp Done jersey here, courtesy of my guy Robert right below me. Robert, what's going on, man? Glad to have you here tonight talking Falcon football. Not on a Friday, but a Saturday here with DFU. Robert, what's going on, man?
Just been a pretty relaxing day so far. Got my yard work done, and now my allergies are killing me. But other than that, we're going to be all right. We'll get through it. It's a pleasure to be here tonight to talk Dirty Bird football.
So Robert, it sounds like you had a pretty successful Saturday. The old lady in the house is happy. The yard's clean. The house is tidied up. Robert, glad to have you here tonight, man. We might as well go ahead and get right into it. Falcon fans, we have a special guest for you tonight. And not only do we have a special guest, but this special guest created his own video clip. Shout out to Manuel McFarland for doing so. Atlanta Falcon Fandemic is here to talk Falcon football, Falcon fans. Hey, man, y'all done got me hyped with a little intro video. I'm back here dancing. If only they could see me in the backstage, but we're popping. Atlanta Falcon Fandemic, man. Glad to have you here tonight, brother. What's going on? How have you been, brother? Hey, I think you muted. Manuel.
Hey, guys. How we doing? Glad to have you, brother.
Good, man.
Glad to be here. Appreciate y'all taking the time out to bring me on. First of all, congratulations on your 500 count, man. I tell you,
I appreciate it.
I'm a little ways behind you, but I'm going to catch up, man, and we're going to have some fun this year. We got a lot to talk about. I tell you, congratulations, guys.
Atlanta Falcons fan, man, we appreciate you having the time to stop by and even come on the Falcon podcast to talk Dirty Bird football. Falcon fans, if you haven't already, you see the name right below you, Atlanta Falcons Fandemic. Go on, head over to the YouTube. You're on the Facebook too, Manuel McFarland. Check him out. Y'all hit the like button. Y'all subscribe for my boy. Help us out so we can help him out, man. Rise up to everybody here in the comment section. Before we dive too far into the Falcon content, the chat is going off. So we'll go ahead and head to the chat. Abno in the chat with it said, hashtag DFU, what's popping? Abno, glad to have you here tonight, brother. Always the first one in the chat with it. Die hard from day one. Abno in the chat. Cordell Hodge now wearing number 4. So who's getting 12? Big eye emoji in the chat with it. Who you got, Philip, for wearing number 12?
That's my number, bro.
That's a new.
Hey, man, I've been big on people wearing 12. I don't know who I got wearing it now. Maybe Nick Nash, maybe.
Nick Nash with the 12. That would be kind of crazy. Because what he wore, what was it that Nick Nash wore in, was it 3?
I thought it was 15, maybe.
May have been 15, man. These numbers and these these draft picks we've gotten in the building. There's so much to go around with and talk about. Before we get to the rest of the comments here, shout out to Obnal, April Thomas, Mateo, everybody in the chat with the questions popping off early with it. Says, what's popping, fellas? We're going to have a top 10 defense and offense. You heard it here first. Hashtag DFU. Mateo, I've been saying it since draft night, baby. You have a top 15 defense, no doubt. There's no way you don't have a top 15 defense after you selected the players you selected. At the number you were able to select these players, guys. I mean, you people want to talk. Let's talk about the trade. I know we've hit on it before, but let's talk about it right now. First topic on the podcast. Terry trades back into the first round to grab James Pierce Jr. A lot of NFL analysts are grading that negatively, saying that was not a good trade, that the Atlanta Falcons should have waited to the second, traded up in the second like the Falcons have done in the past. I think you've heard it from other people and you've heard it from me here on the podcast. James Pierce Jr., the number 2 edge rusher in the whole NFL draft. The Atlanta Falcons solidify that need by trading next year's first-round pick, swapping seconds, and receiving a 7th-round pick from the Los Angeles Rams. Philip, to you, grade that trade to me on an A to a D. Was it a smart trade for Terry to move back in the first round and grab James Pierce Jr.? And if so, why? Why was that a need that you needed to address after Jalen Walker so aggressively? Philip, Mike, sure.
I'm gonna give it an A. I'm not gonna go like above and beyond an A+, but I'm gonna give it an A because basically what we did here, we got another guy to put on that edge. That's wasn't something we've been lacking is sacks. This is that. We already know that. But here's why I also give it an A, because this is you basically didn't waste that first-round pick. You just used your first-round pick for next year, for this year. Mm-hmm. But basically, that's all it is. And you got the guy that you wanted. And
look, you don't plan. You don't even plan being top 20 next year in the NFL draft. So the first that you initially gave to the LA Rams should be in the 20 range to 32, no higher than 20, because the Atlanta Falcons are winning the NFC South. Stamp it now. The Atlanta Falcons will make the playoffs this upcoming season. Cody, the Falcons trade back in, obviously, that's the topic right now. James Pierce Jr., was that a good trade? If so, why? And if they should have waited, please explain why. A+,
man, that's an A+ trade, man. Because let's be 100% honest, there's not a Falcon fan alive right now that thought Jalen Walker was going to be there at 15. There's no way. That's why I didn't talk about Jalen Walker, because I didn't want to get my hopes up. Mm-hmm. That's why Mike Green was my guy, was because I was like, there's no way he's getting past Carolina at all. So you're telling me that the Falcons had 2 guys on their board, because I have a feeling that Pierce Jr. was the Falcons guy at 15 when the Falcons knew that Jalen Walker was going to be gone. So you're telling me that not only did we get the guy everybody wanted and who was, absolutely loved by this Falcons coaching staff and Jalen Walker, then you turn around and are able and go get the guy that you were going to take at 15 at 26. A+ from the Atlanta Falcons. Go and get 2 of their guys. I'm one of those people. I'm like, I don't care what you do with draft picks. Move them, ship them. That's next year's problem. I'm worried about 2025, not 26, 27. That's next year. Mm-hmm. We addressed our needs for 25, and so to me, it was an A+.
Cody, you heard the analysts, and we really didn't hear in the bins because of how crazy the bins was going before the draft pick and right after the draft pick. But you heard, I went back and watched it today. The analyst sitting there and said, how hard could this be for the Atlanta Falcons? You have 2 of the best players in the top 15 still on the board right now off of Mel Copper's board. And then they talked about how the last 4 seasons has been straight offense. Last year was the year the Falcons could have got it correct and drafted that D edge or D lineman. Falcons decided not to do so. Very smart of Terry to grab Michael Penix Jr., a.k.a. The GOAT. But Michael Penix, now your quarterback. Last 4 years, offensive picks. This year, first 2 picks in the first round. Not first and second, but in the first round. You get the best linebacker off the board in Jalen Walker, and you get the number 2 edge rusher after Abdul Carter and James Pierce Jr. I think Terry stole this draft, put it in the sack, and ran away with it. Robert, we're going to get to you right here in just a second. Manuel, let me hear what you think about the James Pierce Jr. signing, the trade back into the first round. Falcon Universe went crazy about it. All Falcon fans loved it. I mean, there wasn't a Falcon fan in Atlanta, Georgia, when I walked out the hotel that morning that was upset with the James Pierce Jr. selection. Manuel McFarland, brother, Atlanta Falcon Fandemic. How are we feeling about this draft and the trade back into the first round?
Yeah, I'm with you guys. I'm stoked about this pick. Terry Fontenot is proving time and time again how brilliant he's able to fill them shoes as a general manager. You talk about a guy that was predicted to go top 15 in the draft. No one even thought we were going to land Jalen Walker, but somehow or another, James Pierce fell right into our laps. I mean, it's a brilliant move. And if you look at where we possibly may land for next season's draft, if we win the division next year, we're going to go further back picking in the draft. So all talent is going to be pretty much exasperated when it comes time for us to get picked next year. So it's a brilliant move. Not only do we get one, but we get two top 5 edge rusher in the draft.
And man, you bring up another good point, because not only do you get those 2 top 5 edge rushers in the draft that you spoke on, but you get them on rookie contracts.
Rookie deals.
You're not going out and paying 4 to 5 years for a veteran, a guy that's 3 years out the door could end his whole career. And now you're getting 2 rookies to braid right here in Atlanta to make a what's that word they like to use, people? A culture change in Atlanta. Well, this is defensive culture shot right here. Jalen Walker and James Pierce Jr. get the C on their jersey, because Jalen Walker will be the captain before the season's over with. That's a guarantee. I promise you that. Manuel, not speaking on just the trade back into the first round, but let's speak about now, I don't know. Are you a guy that likes to dive into undrafted free agents? You like looking at undrafted free agents?
I love it.
Okay. So me and Philip ran a little short clip about a guy named Kobe King and Nick Nash, receiver and corner. My bad. I did it last night too, Philip. I called him Kobe King in our pre-record. But Kobe Bryant and Nick Nash, 2 undrafted free agents that Falcon fans didn't even really know much about until the next morning after the draft. What would you rate that as a, still no more draft picks? We get that last offensive tackle in the 7th round, but Terry still doing work after the clock strikes and grabbing Nick Nash, Kobe Bryant. People like Des Bryant shocked that these guys weren't drafted.
This was brilliant, guys. If you look at what Terry did last season, he did not wait this year to go out there and get these guys. Last season, it was a whole 24 hours before the list even came out about the undrafted free agents. It was right after the draft. So apparently Terry has already went to work before the draft was over. But look for these guys, Nick Nash and Kobe Bryant, if not both, look for these guys to be starters. Yes. Nick Nash is going to add, so much to the offense is crazy.
The fact that Nick Nash led all these spots in college and wasn't selected is mind-boggling to me.
Yeah, I agree.
And like Philip mentioned the other day, if you put a guy like Nick Nash, if you're able to put a guy like that in the slot, a 6'3", 205-pound receiver in the slot position, guys, Penix has targets all day long. Robert, coming to you with the very first question of the podcast, the trade back in the first round, Falcon fans skeptical about it. Some Falcon fans loved it. I being one that loved it. Robert, your thoughts on trading back in that first round, getting rid of next year's first round pick, losing some draft capital of this year. Obviously, you didn't have a second. And did we have a third? We did have a third, I believe. Yeah, a mid-range third. But you lose your second, you lose the first for next year. Robert, grade that trade for me, though.
I give it a solid A. Terry addressed the needs that we had on the D line or on the edges. And of course, I don't understand the negativity that's coming from the national media. A few years ago, we did the same thing. We were needing O-line help. We drafted Chris Lindstrom, and then we traded back up to get Caleb McGarry. I think it's a genius move by Terry. And of course, you guys know we've been talking about it, since the season ended. James Pierce was one of my guys. I expected, I would not have been surprised if we took him at 15th. I was surprised that Jalen was still on the board. And Terry he jumped right in there. He addressed those needs. He sees this as a win now situation. He did his part.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Mateo in the chat with it says Pitt's going to earn this extension this season. I say 750 yards. Is that 1-0 or is that a 0? Is that a 1 touchdown? 10 touchdowns for Kyle Pitts. We are talking crazy, Mateo. We are not even his rookie season, brother. He wasn't even able to get past 5 his rookie season. I don't see Pitts with no more than 6 touchdowns. And if they make 6, that's a contract year for Kyle Pitts. I feel like. we'll go around the table about this real quick. Kyle Pitts, obviously, we spoke with it last week with Mike Johnson, the former Atlanta Falcon lineman here with DFU. Shout out to Cody for reaching out for that. Man, Mike Johnson, what a guest it is to have Mike Johnson here on DFU. But he spoke about it. He spoke about how, the lackluster of performance that he sees from Kyle Pitts. He's been around it his whole career. He knows how to read a locker room. So, Philip, start with you. Kyle Pitts, is this a year that he makes that contract extension with Michael Penix?
Okay, so Kyle's got to come out and play like rookie Kyle. It's not whether that I know that he can or can't do it, because I know he can do it. It's just a matter of looking at it as like, are you going to get out there? I've looked at certain things. It's not more or less we harp on him like not looking interested. He has on certain plays, but there's a lot of plays where he's open. It's just not in the eyes of the quarterback at the time. It's just not being seen, it happens. It is what it is. But this is the year I feel like we've seen it in the Washington game. He came up clutch for Penix. Mm-hmm. Took us to overtime. He's gonna play a big factor in this year. I feel like. Even though we we're a little upset with him this year, it is what it is. I feel like he's gonna get it done this year.
I hope
he does, and I hope he does.
Like,
that's one of my guys that I supported, man. So
same. I mean, as soon as he was picked, the jersey was on the way to the front door. I mean, it was
of course I switched up jerseys when Drake got here, but I just love Drake. I'm a wide receiver guy.
Cody, Kyle Pitts, man, we're beating a dead horse, man. It's every podcast. I know we talk about Kyle Pitts, but the chat loves to talk about Kyle Pitts, and we're going to talk about it here on the podcast. Kyle Pitts next season, it's a big deal for Kyle Pitts, man. For sure next year there's no and if or buts if you're keeping Kyle Pitts. When that clock strikes zero on the last game of the career, or the last game of the season, you'll know if Kyle Pitts is a tight end for the Atlanta Falcons next season. So what I'm saying to you, Cody, is it's make it or break it issue, baby. There is no other option. Kyle Pitts, do you put your big boy boots on, strap your belt up, and go play some ball? Or, Cody, is it just another, Charlie Warner, why ain't you starting tight end type of season?
Man, he's going to have to do something special in order to be here in Atlanta. Look, I've been very critical of Kyle Pitts, and I'm kind of in the same boat with Mike Johnson on this one, man. I know quit when I see it. And it's just one of those things is he's too inconsistent for me. So even if he does go put up great numbers this year, let him hit the market, man. I would say he's just.
Hey, y'all can't tell. Kyle Pitts has stabbed Cody in the chest.
Oh, I was gonna say there's just certain things that I can't tolerate, man. When it comes to my football team, and lazy is one of them, and that was one of my biggest. I mean. That's one of my biggest things, man. Like you're living the dream that, that I wish I had gotten to and would have happily killed to do. And you're out there and you're giving up on routes. You're, quitting on plays. You're not communicating with the quarterback running. And I understand, wrong routes get run. We're all human. We all make mistakes. But I've just seen enough from Kyle Pitts that, great. Like, don't get me wrong. I want him to do great because he's in an Atlanta Falcon uniform. I hope he's got 750 yards and 10 touchdowns and is, in the Pro Bowl and helps us get in the playoffs this year. But as far as I'm concerned, man, at this point, like, you can have that one great year, but that's 2 out of 5. Mm-hmm. And I'm just done with the Kyle Pitts experiment, man. I say you can go get value somewhere else in the tight end. I think Warner's a good enough tight end to replace him. So
it works out either way you look at it. Either you get a dominant season from Kyle Pitts and you get a re-signed tight end in his, his first ever contract extension, I guess you could say. They picked up a 5th year. This would be Kyle Pitts' first ever extension if he was able to get one. Or you get a guy that has now added value to a trade potential to maybe grab. I know you're getting a first round. You're not getting a first round for Pitts unless he just goes stupid this season. But you can get some draft capital off of Kyle Pitts that produces 10 touchdowns, 750 yards. So great point there, Cody. Emmanuel McFarland coming to you, homie. Kyle Pitts here, it is make it or break it season for this cat. And as Philip stated, DFU has been a big supporter of Kyle Pitts from the beginning. Going out to training camp, watching him play the Bulldogs. Kyle Pitts was dominant in college, and you've seen that year one with Matt Ryan, and you really haven't seen that since the injury. Obviously, the quarterback play has been subpar, and even to say subpar is even an upgrade to what you could really say. But the quarterback position has not been what it has been since Matt Ryan. Manuel, does Kyle Pitts progress this year, or is this where we're like make it through the season and let's get rid of him?
Guys, you're right. This is no doubt his make or break season. He has to put the numbers up. And I'm with Cody. You know, I was one of the guys that was I was very critical on him. Everybody's seen the video. But at the same time, too, I saw what he can be as far as his rookie season, you know. And now it's 50-50 because of the way Kirk Cousins has played. You have to wonder, is it the chemistry between the two? Because when Penix became the quarterback, you saw the play between him and Cal. Oh, yeah. They were making plays. That last touchdown, man, you have to wonder, like, wait a minute. But that Cal didn't caught that. But, you know, now you have to wonder, was it quarterback play or is it lackluster play? Of course, we did see him give up on a few plays, too. So maybe it's the motivation to play with Kirk Cousins or not. But, you know, at the beginning of the draft last season, there was the issue between them two. We don't know what the discussion was about. It was a conversation, but we don't know what it was about. So maybe they was trying to establish some chemistry early on, or maybe it was because of that number 8 jersey. Just don't know.
So Manuel, you brought up a great point there, because a lot of Falcons probably forgot about that confrontation there with Kyle Pitts and Kirk Cousins, because it came out that Kirk Cousins said he had to tell Kyle Pitts, hey, you can run faster than that, and you should be able to catch this ball. Yeah. Pretty much saying Kyle Pitts is not to his standard of what Kirk Cousins was expecting when he came to Atlanta. But he told me, he's like, you got a big body, a big frame, you've got to use it, and you've got to run fast. You've got to go 100%. And it made everybody feel like, hey, if Kirk Cousins is coming in the building and he sees this in training camp, like, what really is Kyle Pitts doing at practice? Cody, Mike.
Well, that's the problem that I have. I would say this is your job, and we can all hate Kirk for what he did and or whatever, but Kirk, let's be honest, Kirk is a professional. Now he's handled his own situation bad, but Kirk had been a professional up until that point. And so Kyle Pitts, when you get called out by your teammate, it shouldn't make you pissy. It shouldn't make you upset. It shouldn't, make you want to go pout and cry in the corner. What it should do is motivate you to get off your, okay. Yeah. I almost dropped one. But it should make you get off your butt and make you want to play harder. You just had your new starting quarterback that came in, saw you, goes, you've got talent. Because let's Kirk didn't just come in and attack him. He goes, look, Kyle Pitts has got talent. He's a good player, but he quits, and you're better than that. And Kirk was pushing him to be better than that. And if that hurt Kyle Pitts' feelings, man, and I know this generation's different than Kirk's generation, my generation, our generation, but still, man, you're a professional football player. That should motivate you to play better, not have a disconnect with your quarterback. You're muted.
My bad, people. Robert, the question goes over to you, homie. Kyle Pitts, though, we've talked about it a lot this offseason, and it's been a topic to talk about because it has been a very big concern of a main position at tight end that has not been what you could use as an extra target for your guys. Look at the quarterbacks that continuously make it to the playoffs. Look at the quarterbacks that have 5 to 6 rings. We're not naming him on the podcast, but he's always had a tight end with him. He's always had this best friend by his side. Michael Penix needs that in Kyle Pitts this season. Robert, what is it the deal with Kyle Pitts this season here in Atlanta with Michael Penix? This could potentially be his last year in Atlanta.
Well, I think chemistry is key, like we touched on earlier. He just didn't seem to have that with Kirk after the second Tampa Bay game, and he went off in that game, had 2 touchdowns. And we don't know what goes on behind closed doors at Flowery Branch or anything like that, but if Kyle wants to be an NFL tight end, and to Cody's point, if you're getting called out by the quarterback who is supposed to be the team leader, and kudos to Kirk for doing that. But, if you're going to get your feelings hurt, football's supposed to be a tough game. My day, back in the 80s, I mean, he wouldn't survive, what my coaches said to me,
Thanks.
But, yeah, I mean, if nothing else, if Kyle's not happy in Atlanta, he better ball out this year. If he wants any type of value, if he wants to stay in the league, if he wants to stay here, I mean, yeah, build the chemistry with Penix. I mean, and, like you said, we're all rooting for our players, I mean, and I've liked Kyle Pitts since the beginning, but like Cody said, we cheer for who wears the black and red. I mean, did I like Jeff George? No, but when he was our quarterback, I cheered for him. I wanted him to succeed. So yeah, I think you'll see, if nothing else, a better breakout season for Kyle. And like I said, if for nothing else, just to build value.
Absolutely, man. Falcon fans, hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe. We are talking Falcon football here tonight with you on a Saturday evening. Philip, Cody, Emmanuel, Robert, we have another topic, and this one's really not about far as play this year or any draft picks. This is a kind of off the wall topic that I scrolled across today, and I was like, this would be pretty cool to talk about on the podcast. And we're going to break it down right here on the podcast, and we're going to go through and we're going to look at these. We're going to go through and we're going to look at these matchups that they say are potentially better than our guys at 10. They have Drake London and Darnell Mooney ranked as 10 on this list here of top 10 receiving duos. Guys, at 1, you have Chase and Higgins. Can we all agree to disagree that this is probably correct? On number one?
That one's, yeah, definitely.
Okay, then you have Nakua and Adams. Philip, 2 guys that have not snapped together. You said it earlier. And then you have 3. You have A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. The guys just want to
makes sense.
So we'll leave them there. Let's talk about 4.
Jay Jettis, you got
Jay Jettis and Addison. At 5 of seasoned Mike Evans and
barely
a Godwin
1,000-yard season.
A Godwin that may not even play this year. That coming off that major injury. Chris Godwin not looking to But whatever, we'll leave it there. We'll keep going. Metcalf and Pickens, pretty good duo. I'll say that. St. Brown.
First of all, we haven't seen how they play together. Another thing we have to think. Who's throwing it?
Yeah, we really don't know.
Casper back there, brother. Like, who's throwing you the ball?
You see, you got St. Brown, and that's that Jameson Williams. I believe that's who that is. Then you have Hill, Tyreek Hill, and Waddle. Don't know if Hill will even be in Miami this year. Then you have McLaurin and Debo, and then right below them you have Drake London and Darnell Mooney. Philip, coming to you because you seem really ready to talk about this topic. This list here, okay? Tell me the ones you agree upon, and then tell me the ones that you would put the Falcons in front of.
Okay, so we got Chase and Higgins. Obviously, we got Jettis and Addison. That's and Smith and Brown. That's like 3 mainly right there, and then we got St. Brown and Williams. All right, I'm looking at it this way. Those are the top guys that I would put above our guys potentially, but they're up there with them. Mm-hmm. Evans and Godwin's another duo that's been there for a couple years, so you can add them in the mix, but it's like a close race in my opinion. But we got McLaurin and Debo that hasn't played a single snap together. Metcalf and Pickens, they got Casper in the backfield throwing to them, so we don't know what they got going on.
So tell me this.
Nakua and Adams.
So tell me this. Out of the ones that you've agreed upon that are pretty decent, Chase, obviously the Eagles, and not really the Bucs at 5. But Philip, where do you rank the Atlanta Falcons on this list?
I would put them at 5, and I'm putting the Bucs at 6. That's just me.
Okay.
That's not being biased either, because if I was being biased, they're going to be number 1, obviously.
Cody, coming over to you with it, Cody. How do you rearrange this list, or is this list kind of on the right, what we got going on, or talk to me?
Well, I would say I definitely agree with number 1. I would say I've got no issue there. Man, I know Puka is good, but I feel like he had a really down year from the other year.
He did.
So I mean, I don't know if I put them there. Now with the Eagles, with Brown and Smith, I think
that's 2.
Man, it's hard not to give them credit because they just won a Super Bowl. But I'm kind of thinking, was that I guess they kind of held Saquon, and it wasn't. Man, that game was so hard to judge because the Chiefs got absolutely stomped. It was hard to say that, their wide receivers won them that game. It was really the Eagles' defense. So, man, I don't know. I was to say, I definitely think we need to be above Mike Evans and Godwin. They're good, they're seasoned, but I definitely think that Drake and Mooney, if you're putting those guys on there. So I'm kind of with Philip on this one. I think we definitely need to be in that 5-6 spot. I guess if we're just going on a pure talent standpoint, Metcalf and what's his name? Pickens. Man, I don't know. It's hard when you haven't seen two guys play on the field together. I really don't know if this is
This is rage bait.
I guess pretty much.
Rage bait, the man said. All right, so I have a better topic for the two bottom guys right here, Emmanuel and Robert. This is a topic we got to hit on because this has been happening quite often for the Atlanta Falcons in the offseason. We have an article here today. It says the Atlanta Falcons, in the past decade, the Falcons have been fined for $350K, fifth-round pick for illegal crowd noise, $75K plus $25K to the head coach for injury report violation on Bijan Robinson, hashtag Arthur Smith, $250K plus the fifth-round pick for tampering with Kirk Cousins, hashtag Terry Fontenot, $250K plus $100K to DC for a prank call, hashtag Jeff Ulbrich's son. So, Atlanta Falcon pandemic, Robert, what do you guys think about the situation, and how do the Atlanta Falcons correct their pockets heading into next offseason?
Well, I'm on the thing. We're
self-inflicting. Yes,
all self-inflicting type of stuff. However, the money is no issue because a lot of teams have been fined for a lot worse. This here is more like a slap on the wrist. It's a
do better.
Welcome to the big table, Arthur Blank, type of thing. Do we have your attention now, type of thing. So I'm not putting a whole lot into it, but it seems to be happening more now as opposed to in the past. In the past, we never got fined for anything. But, this is, I don't know, maybe this is one of those welcome to the big guy table, Arthur Blank. And behind the scenes, you never know what Arthur Blank has said to the committee. A lot of this stuff, man, Arthur Blank could be, you have seen him on the field. He seems like a male
probably rogue in the meetings.
And behind closed doors at that table, he might be Jerry Jones, or relive. So I don't know. This is right here. It's just suspect to me. And it's like, why now? So it seems like every time we come up with a team that's worth mentioning in the NFL, it seems like stuff like this happens. So I'm not looking for it to end. I'm looking forward to coming. But my thing is, I want Atlanta to become that team that says, "Hey, if you're going to fine me, we're going to give you something to get fined for. We're going to get the illegal play on the field. We're going to get the bullet." Give them something to fine us for. That's what other teams are doing.
Absolutely. Robert, the question bounces over to you. Great answer there from Manuel. Robert, what do you do in this situation, man? As Manuel said, it seems like, back in the past, back 2000s to 2012s, the area, the Falcons never seem to be fined. Now you are here in 2025, and the Falcons have been fined out the ASS the past decade. Robert, how do you fix that? And what do you think about this whole scenario with the Jeff Ulbrich, the Falcons being fined, the only team to be fined, even though other players were also prank called as well from other numbers? Robert.
Well, as far as, preventing stuff like this in the future, Arthur's got to be he's going to have to do a better job of, discipline, and it's the only thing I can really think of. Now, as far as the most recent, the prank call, I think it was blown way out of proportion. And I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I don't care who gets mad. Dion hasn't done his son any favors. And it's like Rick said, on the last podcast, if you can't handle sliding in the draft, and if you can't handle, a prank call, how are you going to be expected to be a franchise quarterback in the NFL? Mm-hmm. He's not the first guy to ever get pranked. I mean, the kid that went to the Colts, the tight end, supposedly he got a prank call. Nothing said about it.
And undrafted. Not a
And
prank call.
I'm going to go ahead and say this too. It might make some people mad, but it just seems to me like anything that the commissioner's office and the national media can harp at the Atlanta Falcons about, they enjoy it.
Yep.
Why, I don't know. But, the Patriots could have done something like it. I mean, they got caught, stealing the Rams signals before Super Bowl 36.
Didn't care.
Basically they lost a draft pick, and Belichick got fined, Kraft got fined, basically a slap on the wrist. If we would have done something like that, oh good Lord, we'd have never heard the end of it.
We probably would have lost the whole draft class of 2025, Robert. That would have probably been all. That would have been it. Mateo in the chat. Shout out to Anthony White in the chat, man. RPMML, Mateo, all these Falcon fans. April Thomas, Carlos is in the chat with it. Abnal, all you guys on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, wherever you're tuning in from. If you're tuning in from Atlanta Falcon Fandemic channel, shout out to all you guys for being here tonight to talk Falcon football on a Saturday night, man. Not a Friday like we usually do, but a Saturday night at 9 o'clock. These guys are in the comment section bringing Falcon content in the comment section. Not even us, but in the comment section, man. Shout out to everybody in the comment section. Shout out to everybody that, always comes through and supports the channel. Philip, Cody, Robert, about said Rick. Rick's not here. Manuel. We've announced it already, and we have a bigger audience here now, so I want to do it again. DFU is officially at the 500 mark today. Shout out to everybody that has participated in this, man. That is just, even if you just like the video, you scroll past us and you like the video, we appreciate you, man. We appreciate everything y'all have done for this channel. As the bottom of your screen will say, as that thing scrolls across, it ain't scrolling right now, but help us reach that 1K goal, man. We're officially at 500 now, guys, and we could not do it without you people. Thank you to everybody that's contributed to the 500 mark. If you're not subscribed, man, and you're watching this after the live, go ahead and do so, because you could have the chance to win your own very Wart Done jersey. Also, if you're already subscribed, all you have to do, Falcon fans, hashtag DFU in a live chat to be entered for the chance to win a Wart Done jersey, courtesy of my guy, Robert. Hashtag DFU is all you have to do, Falcon fans. It's right there waiting on you. Hashtag DFU. Philip, this goes to you, homie, and this is a subject that I know you're not going to like. You're going to hate this subject, and that's why I'm coming to you first with it. The Carolina Panthers has done some splurging, baby. The Carolina Panthers. Rawr. The Panthers selected their receiver, Territorio McClellan, in the first round. Philip, we looked at each other when that pick was selected. Me and Cody was sitting there and we're like, dude, did they really just draft a fucking receiver? Did they really just select a receiver over Jalen Walker? Philip, now that the Carolina Panthers have got their, are they calling him receiver one, or is Xavier Leggett receiver one?
Buddy, they don't know what they want to do, what they got going on right now. They're trying to sign a guy that, they don't even know they got yet, and they're bragging about it. Who knows? There ain't no telling.
Meow.
Okay, so
I can go out there and be wide
is,
receiver one tomorrow.
Because I bring this up because I seen an article today where it said this was all predictions, and it said that the Saints season would be a two-win season. Okay.
Oh God, please let that happen.
It said the Saints would have 2 wins, and they said that they would get dog rolled on the road in Atlanta. And the two people that would be fighting for the NFC South, this is going to shock the world, would be the Atlanta Falcons and the Carolina Panthers. Because of what the Falcons or what the Carolina Panthers have done this offseason, able to acquire a decent draft class. This isn't a Panther show, so we're not going to dive in on who they selected. But Philip, we keep it a buck here. We keep it a buck on DFU. And if this was a point to where we knew we were sweeping the Panthers every year, we would just sit here and dog what they've done. But it hasn't been that way, guys. It's been a while since the Falcons have swept the Carolina Panthers. It's been a while since the Falcons have swept any division player other than this past season with the Buccaneers.
The Buccaneers.
So that brings me to saying, Philip, do you really believe at the end of the season it would be the Carolina Panthers and the Atlanta Falcons, or would this be another Buck year and the Atlanta Falcons? Because this year we're pulling a special guest from another whatever squad, whoever it is, if it's the Falcons and the Panthers, if it's the Falcons and the Saints, if it's the Falcons and the Bucks, we're gonna have a special guest from one of those other podcasts here on the channel for Hate Week. We're gonna do it. This is where it starts. So, Philip, is the Carolina Panthers really progressed this year? Are they now on the right track to where they should be?
I mean, I'll give them a good little, A- for the draft. They did solid for them, but this is a team that's had troubles with management, just coaching and everything, like et cetera, bro. Like they don't know how to manage that team, and it's been proven last year. They'd had a little bit of talent last year, and what did they do with it? Went 5-11. I mean, they didn't know
I automatically went to the comment section and said, "You bums won't win no more than 4 games." But anyway, continue on, Philip.
These guys, like, they went 5-11. They didn't know who they wanted as their quarterback throughout the whole season. Their franchise hated Bryce at the beginning of the beginning of the year, and then towards the end of the year, they're back on it because he beats a couple teams, and this happened to beat us because we couldn't get the ball back in overtime. Okay, you got lucky. Okay, you get your ass whooped whenever we play. That's just how it is. But, I don't see them going above and beyond. This is a team that's still building. They still got to they got to figure out what the coach wants because he don't even know what he wants himself, along with the owner.
So, Phil, I guess I bring this topic up because I know how bad you hate the Panthers. And I bring this topic up because –
this is not being, hate biased by that. I'm just saying. It's just –
yeah. But what I'm saying is – and this is a Falcon podcast. We're not a Panthers podcast, viewers, just to let you guys know. But, Philip – how does our defense pair to the offense that they have now? And this isn't me crediting what Carolina has going on, but I'm saying how your defenders now face a Adam Thielen. They also face come on, guys. What did he do in Atlanta when he played us in the Benz? Let's be for real. Adam Thielen is still a decent receiver. You have Xavier Leggett, a decent receiver in the NFL. Then you have a rookie now. I don't even want to say his first name because I'll slaughter it. McClellan, I guess is his last name, right? I think that's his name. You have 3 guys. Now this comes to our Falcon content here. This is where we're leading, guys. Pass to the Falcon content. All right, so now you have we're talking about our secondary class, Philip. We just hit on this today or yesterday, whenever it was. You have a AJ Terrell. You now have – Philip, pull the list up while I'm going through it, though. You have a A.J. You have a D. Alford. You have a Bowman that you just signed. You have what's the other cornerback that we just signed last year? Clark Phillips III.
Don't forget we got the Panthers' old cornerback, Fuller. Or did you say Fuller?
I don't think I said Fuller. You got Fuller now. Phillips is back. That's all right. You're good. So what I'm saying is – if you're going up receiver cores like this, because all year long the Falcons on that list, guys, on this list right here of the best duos in the league, the Falcons play. I'm guaranteeing you they're going to play at least. We know for sure they're playing the Bucks twice a year. Okay, you're probably going to play the Bengals this year with Chase and Higgins. What's another team that we ain't played in a while? The Detroit Lions. That'll probably be a matchup this year. So what I'm saying is, who is your starting cornerbacks? Who are you starting the field with when you walk out there week 1 and you look across the field? It's A.J. Terrell right here. Who's lining up across him? Who's lining up in the nickel? Who's where, Philip? Cody, Robert, who are we lining up with?
You hear me out with this one, man.
I'm about to pull. Go ahead. I'm going to pull up.
It's going to be crazy. I'm going to put Mike, Mike on the other side of AJ, but at nickel, it's not going to be D. Alford, in my opinion.
Big Mike?
It's going to be – at the nickel, it's probably going to be Billy Bowman for me. That's a guy that you signed. He's a ball hog.
So you got Bowman starting.
Yes. It's either going to be him or Kobe Bryant. It's going to be somebody at that nickel spot. We talked about it yesterday. It's going to be one of the 2 right there, that nickel. And they're both ball hogs. That's the crazy thing about it. Who's going to be the rotation? It's going to be fun.
It's going to be crazy. Cody, who you got, brother? Who you got at your cornerback positions? Real quick, man, we got a special, appearance, a special guest here in the comment section. 95 North Talk Show, Burrow. What's going on, brother? Glad to have you here tonight. Shout out to Berto, man. Check him out on Bleacher Report, YouTube, Facebook. Check out my guy Berto, man. Diehard Falcon fan. Great content.
Berto's the same thing.
Berto did say that. He said Mike Hughes opposite side of AJ Bowman in nickel.
That's big. That's Big Mike.
Cody, the mic is in your hands, brother. Who do you have lining up at your cornerback positions?
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm pretty much the same as Philip. Hughes, AJ, Bowman. I think that's kind of where you are. But before we get too far into that, talking about the Panthers wide receivers. Here's the thing, guys. Who's the Panthers quarterback again? Oh, that's right, 5'0".
I'm not gonna hate. I'm not gonna hate. I'm just gonna say his last 3 weeks of football last year were pretty nice. I will say that.
Yeah,
I hate the Panthers. I absolutely hate the Panthers.
Absolutely.
I mean, it would be if you ain't played nothing and nobody had tape on you.
I would say, and that's my thing on this. The sun shines on a dog's butt every now and then. I would say, here's my thing. There's a reason Chase Young was benched. After 2 games, there is a reason that they were looking to shop him. There is a reason. Why did he beat us in the last week of the season? It wasn't because, he's making these outstanding throws. He used his legs. Well, guess what? Do that against Jalen Walker. Let's see you come across that line with Jalen Walker ready to blow you up, because you're not doing that anymore. We got a guy address that. That has been the Falcons' Achilles heel for a while, is mobile quarterbacks. And we addressed that issue this year. So, I
love it. Jalen Walker, now you're QB spy. You've seen him do it in college. He did it a lot with Arch Manning when the Falcons played Texas.
Right.
You had Jalen Walker in a QB spy.
So now you got Jalen Walker watching you, and you can't run anywhere. Well, now you got James Pierce Jr. coming off the edge, and he's blowing you up. You're not wanting to throw the ball 15 yards downfield anymore. You're not wanting to, you're wanting to get that. We speed him up. You speed him up. And then he's not doing these things anymore. He beat us with his legs.
I'm so sorry. I just realized my volume was up. I'm trying to add to the podcast, and it was echoing. My bad.
No, you're good.
Apologize.
I didn't even hear it. And again, we don't get the ball in overtime, but you know what? At that point, you could, I was there. You could tell that the fans, as soon as the Saints lost to the Buccaneers, the team, I don't want to say they quit, but you could definitely tell that everybody was like, well, let's just go ahead and wrap this one up. Let's get out of here, injury free, and we'll go into next year. We'll go into 2025. The Carolina Panthers, man, I don't care what they have done unless they have added Peyton Manning, a Tom Brady, a Matt Ryan type quarterback in their backfield, which they have not. Like I say, good for them. I'm glad they got their little wide receiver. That's cute. But man, they're not competing for the NFC South. They're not competing with the Atlanta Falcons this year. I would say the only team that even remotely in our division stands a chance is Tampa Bay, and that is only if Baker Mayfield catches fire. Other than that, I don't see why we don't.
I don't really see Tampa. I don't see Tampa being what Tampa
exactly.
The future that I see for Baker is in the dirt.
Yep.
My bad. Yeah.
Well, really, if you think about the pressure rate, if James Pierce Jr. and Jalen Walker, and then you got to think about a guy like Braylon Trice that put up one of the most highest pressure rates in college football. Leonard Floyd, if the sack numbers can be where they need to be this year, there's not even an issue to worry about at hand, because I believe the secondary is strong enough to cover. If that D line can get to the mother effing quarterback, the Atlanta Falcons should be just fine in the NFC South, and not only the NFC South, but as well as, if you make that playoff push this year, man, this year is the year. It feels like the 2016 draft all over with the Deion Jones selection, the Keanu Neal, all those players that made such a huge impact that season. What a draft class, and what a draft class it was this year, man. I really think the Falcons hit. Philip Crawford, you are now entered for the chance to win. April Thomas, you are already entered. Let's see. April Thomas. Michael Cook in the chat with it.
I don't mean to interrupt you. I didn't realize we have my cousin on the team. We got Benny Sapp the third, bro. He the show making the team.
Big Ben.
My boy Benny.
On chat says bringing in a rookie receiver to our defense. So I'm gonna be honest, no fly zone. It's on lock. You heard? 95 North Show says Kobe won't make an impact for another year or so.
I can see that.
But I got Kobe. I got Kobe shocking everybody, baby.
I shock people though, and I hope he really does, because that is a baller, dude.
I've got Kobe somehow slipping in and taking that nickel.
And he has a chip on his shoulder. What, being undrafted? He has a chip on his shoulder, dude. I can't wait to see him play.
Sugar in the chat would have said it's okay to drag the other teams. They drag us on their shows. Well, we'll start doing that then. Let's start dragging. Robert Manuel, we have I have a what you call a 53-man roster pre-cut before training camp actually takes place. This is Scott Carissa, one of our special guests last week. He put up a 53-man roster expectation here for the upcoming season. Before we get to that, Robert, going down to Manuel, could you give me maybe who you think the Falcons secondary would be starting this season?
I think it'll be Mike Hughes as the corner number 2, the nickel slot guy. I kind of agree with Berto. I don't think that Kobe's going to be quite ready yet. I think it will probably go to Billy Bowman, which, we drafted the kid for a reason. I mean, we just look at his tape. I mean, the kid's a ball hawk. And going back to the point about the Carolina Putty Tats.
Putty Cat.
I want to add something to what Cody said. Last year, Bryce Young did not face Jalen Walker. He did not face James Pierce. Did not face Leonard Floyd. And one thing I want to add to that is he was facing a Jimmy Lake run defense.
Mm-hmm.
Not going to have that this year. Going to be more physical, going to be more aggressive. We've got the talent to run ultra scheme. And, of course, Athlon's picked Carolina to win the division last year. And I don't know what crack pipe those people were hitting, but, I'm going to throw some
throw the shade.
Some slander here at Carolina. Look at me.
Do it.
As long as David Tepper is your owner, Daniel Snyder 2.0, y'all ain't going to do nothing.
I love it. Let's go.
Get over it.
5-11 again, baby. Let's go.
Hey, 4 wins max. You heard it here on DFU. Atlanta Falcon fan, Manuel, brother. Who you got for me, man? Who you feel like could line up on that defense side of the ball this year, man? It has been a big topic this offseason, not only in the draft, but content creators all around the world talking about the Atlanta Falcons defense and who could be that starting defense. Manuel, what you got for me at the cornerback position, man?
Guys, first of all, I'm going to say I don't care if anybody in the division outside the Atlanta Falcons go hit Super Bowl. I give them no credit whatsoever. So if they get all the trash talk, they get all the slander. But I'm going to surprise a lot of people and say that Clark Phillips just may come in and upseat Michael Hughes.
I like that.
I mean, Michael Hughes is a great cornerback. However, when I'm looking at that energy that he brings to that side over there, I mean, I'm looking for a true ball hawk. And if I'm talking about a ball hawk, I'm giving Clark Phillips the edge. And if you guys go back and look at the 1998 team, the 2016 team that went to the Super Bowl, we had complete ball hawks back there. I mean, it was interception, and quarterbacks had a hard time throwing against us. Even though we lost those two Super Bowls, they had a hard time picking apart our defense. So, and that's the reason why I think hopefully that Xavier Watts come in and be that safety.
Xavier Watts, man, the name that I keep forgetting about. That's a great name.
I mean, I prefer Malachi Starks, but Xavier, he satisfies me at that spot. And not saying that, and we know we still have DeMarco Hellams too, so we can't completely cut him out the picture. But
shit, Manuel dropping facts on y'all boys.
I think he's gonna edge out Michael Hughes.
I forgot about DeMarco Hellams, dude, a guy that was injured prior year. Philip, we had him starting before we signed Justin Simmons. DeMarco Hellams was a starting safety. Manuel, that's a great point, brother. I'm glad you brought that up.
I like Hellams too.
DeMarco Hellams, Alabama cat. I mean, dude, it was really going. I think it was going to be a big year for him this year. The Falcons were asking a lot, and then when Hellams went down, obviously you had to rotate to the Justin Simmons. But yeah, great points here on the podcast, man. Glad to have everybody here tonight. Real quick, we'll run through what Scott Carissa has put for his official 53-man roster. I know you guys probably can't read that. That's very small, so I'm going to pull it up on my phone here. You have at the starting quarterback position, obviously, you have Michael Penix.
Oh, I was going to say Kirk Cousins.
You have Michael Penix. You have Kirk Cousins. Then you have Easton Stick. Running back, Bijan. Tyler Algier. Then you have receivers Drake London, Darnell Mooney, Raymond McLeod, Cordell Hodge. Nick Nash makes the squad, but he's very low on the list. You have tight end Kyle Pitts, Charlie Warner, Colette Kalanick, and then Felipe Franks. Offensive line, offensive tackle Jake Matthews, Caleb McGarry, obviously. Guards Matthew Bergeron, we already know this. Centers Ryan Nuzil and Javon Gwynn. Then you have your defensive line, starting defensive line. You have David Onamata, Zach Harrison. He actually don't have. Let's see. Give me 1 second, boys. But you've heard the list so far, and you've heard on his starting 53. He actually has. Kirk Cousins not even on the squad, guys. Kirk Cousins not even with the team. He has the Falcons cutting Kirk Cousins or trading Kirk Cousins somewhere to, I believe it's the Pittsburgh Steelers would be that trade partner. This is your first string offense right here, guys. Penix, Bijan, Tyler, Drake, Darnell, Raymond McLeod, Kyle Pitts, Charlie Warner, Jake Matthews, Matthew Bergeron, Ryan Nuzil, Chris Lindstrom, Caleb McGarry. Same exact offense from last year. Same exact offense. Kicker, Younghoe Koo, punter, Bradley Pinion. Let's see, second string, Kirk Cousins, Carlos Washington, yada, yada, yada. No, that's important. Let's go to our base 3-4 defense here. First string, you have Arnold Ebiketie at edge. You have Brandon Dolores at defensive tackle. He also has the Falcons shipping Onamata because he gets beat throughout training camp. So that's another $8 million saved. That's a different post, Philip. That's hold up. I'll see if I can't get the. See, it's on my phone here, and I didn't have time to upload it to the podcast. But
I did see on that list though. Cousin Benny made the team. I told you he was.
You have Ruko Hirohu at nose tackle. You have defensive end Zach Harrison. Then at edge Jalen Walker. So that's your two edges. Is what Scott Karisic thinks to start the season off with. He thinks you can start it off with Zach Harrison on the left side and Jalen Walker over on the right side.
I got
and obviously,
Zach.
I do too. I'm ready to see what Zach Harrison can do here in Atlanta. He was a big draft pick, an Ohio State guy, Buckeye. Ready to see what he can do.
Him in person, so I mean, we know what he can do.
Absolutely. Linebacker spot, he has Divine Diablo starting with Caden Ellis to pair with that. You have AJ Terrell, Mike Hughes, nickel, D. Alford, safety, Jesse Bates, and then he's got safety, strong safety, Xavier Watts. And then his second string, he has at edge James Pierce Jr., which would be a rotation with Arnold Ebiketie. Then he has, let's see, where to go? Taquan Graham, Morgan Fox being a rotation piece with Zach Harrison. Leonard Floyd being a rotation piece with Jalen Walker. Guys, you hear these rotation pieces, man. Behind Mike Hughes, you have Clark Phillips. Behind AJ Terrell, you have Kevin King. Behind D. Alford, you have Billy Bowman. Not to mention Natron Brooks, Kobe King right after that. Guys, somebody is going to end up stealing the job. All right, I don't care who it is, but somebody's going to end up stealing the job. Jesse Bates starting. DeMarco Helms coming in right after Jesse Bates at second string. Phillips' long-lost cousin Benny Sapp is the third string safety. And then Braylon Trice is your third rotation piece behind AK and James Pierce Jr. Then you have Braylon Trice. Anything that you guys would change up on that list? Maybe let's talk about D-line here for a minute. Cody, who do you see starting that D-front when the season kicks off, a couple of months from now, man? We're not far at all. Cody, who do you have at that D-line?
Yeah, really the only disagreement that I've got on that is I still think David Onyemata is going to be a piece for us.
He's been here too long.
He's been here too long. He's too good of a player. I think he's kind of the guy that, is going to fill that Grady Jarrett role. I don't know why people don't like David Onyemata. I feel like,
hey, Sean, what's going on?
I like Big O.
I do too, and I think he's solid, man. I think he's, we talked about it last podcast. Like, when you lost Grady, you lost that guy that really stuffs the run. And I think David Onyemata will take that step. He'll take that step that, we lost with Grady, and David will become that guy. I'm looking for big things from Big O.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. That was my first thing I went to Scott about, Cody. I hit him up. I said, hey, Scott, no debate because I love saving money, $8 million back in our pocket. But why was David Onyemata cut? And he says that he believes David Onyemata would be outperformed in training camp leading up to with Brandon Dolores, Aruko Hirohu in second year. Guys, there's a big – I don't know if you guys have noticed, but there's a big bug around Flowery Branch about Brandon Dolores being a superstar in Atlanta. I don't know what or where the hype's coming from, but Brandon Dolores has been getting a lot of heat out of Atlanta this offseason, guys. And you've seen him a couple snaps last year, but this year, man, it's like maybe they've seen something in progression since last year. But, Cody, your thoughts on Brandon Dolores possibly taking that Amada spot?
Well, I mean, I'd be okay. I'm going to be okay with it if he produces. But again, to me, it's one of those things is like you can't kind of fall back into the thing that we had happen with the 16 team. Too many young guys get deep. It's their first time playing 18 games. Let's be honest. Football is, I don't care what hockey players want to say or rugby players want to say. Football is the most physical sport that you play. Mm-hmm. It's like getting in a car accident every time the ball is snapped. So my thing is like you've got to have a guy like David Onyemata in there, like a Dwight Freeney was. Well, you've got to have some kind of veteran leadership in that locker room on that defensive front. And I'm not saying that these young guys can't take up and step it up or become that leader. But again, I think it's kind of one of the biggest reasons that I was upset that Grady left was you lose that veteran presence. Mm-hmm. And again, I'm not saying that these young guys can't step up in those roles and do those things. And again, as a Falcon fan, I don't care who does it. I just want it to be done. Mm-hmm. But am I trusting, this is Rook's second year. Am I trusting a Rook or, Rororo to go in and be the leader of my defense?
I think, just speaking on a draft term and what Terry pulled to grab Rook, I think at the extent that Terry Fontenot went to grab Ruko Hirohu, I think you kind of have to lean on it, Cody. We're talking about a guy that, like Arnold Ebiketie, we expected a lot out of AK his first season in Atlanta, and Falcon fans still do, and he's been a 5 to 6 sack guy every year. But I think that's where this is where Terry, and I'm not saying Terry's seat's hot because obviously after this draft, I think Terry made his seat a lot cooler. But what I'm saying is, if you don't have these second-year players like Ruko Hirohu take those steps and you traded up in the second-round pick to grab that guy, and you've done this years previous with another guy, who was it? Matthew Bergeron. He turned out nice for Atlanta. But what I'm saying is if you don't get production out of Ruko Hirohu and you don't get production out of AK, are you really hitting on these second-round picks? Because second-round picks start in the NFL.
Well, yeah, no, absolutely. But I think one of those things is like I'm a little lenient on that, like as far as draft picks go. It's really about that year 3 that I really look for you to take not just that step, but like veteran you're in that role. Like what you're doing, you've become the player that you're going to be. And so, like, AK's a little bit different story. He's been here long enough that AK needs to step it up. And I think he has. I think he's absolutely improved. Now, could he be better? Absolutely. But
if you have the nickname Sackmaster or Dr. Sackmaster, you've got to be better.
You've got to be better. And that's just it. And like I understand that David, again, I understand David doesn't get, a ton of sacks, but he's also the guy. Again, this is the thing that we can't forget is great. So now we've got a secondary, and now you can't pick us apart. But now you can wear us down if we can't stop the run. And
you guys remember Grady and Onyemata, dude? Yeah. You had a top 5 run defense. With
absolutely. 2 years ago, nobody ran the ball on us, couldn't even score touchdowns until week 8. Mm-hmm. And so you don't want to give that up. And, I don't care. Like, I know passing's fun and it's sexy and it looks good on stats and it's exciting. But again, if you can wear down defenses with the run game, and that's one thing that, we had concerns with on the last podcast is how do you stop the run now when you lose a David Onyemata, you lost a Grady Jarrett, you've got to be concerned about something like that. So
there's another vet that we forgot about too, though. That DT, it's not even Morgan Fox, it's Contavious Street.
Shit. Contavious Street, I forgot all about him, Philip.
Which played a very good role in the run game and had very, very solid. Very solid.
That's a good name you brought up, Philip. I forgot all about Contavious Street. That's a solid name you brought to the table. Robert, the question goes to you, brother. You heard the list. Who is your starting, if you run a 3-4 base, who is your starting D-line? And maybe, I don't know, we could throw in linebackers at that position as well. Who do you have starting for this Atlanta Falcons defense?
I see Onyemata, sticking around and, taking over the interior. Like Cody said, it's veteran presence. And he's solid. I mean, he's been solid in the run game. He doesn't get a lot of sacks, but, Grady didn't either.
Yep.
And, I think Onyemata is going to be here. I think he's going to be here for another year or two. On the edge, I think, obviously, Jalen Walker, first round pick, obviously, if for nothing else, the only way that he doesn't get a starting job is if, he just gets hurt or just totally stinks it up in training camp. And I do see probably Arnold getting the other side starting out. I think that James Pierce might eventually, take over that role. And of course, as far as the rotation goes, like you mentioned, Kentavious Street's good in the run game. We brought in Morgan Fox. I think he'll contribute. And as far as linebackers go, if he can stay healthy and prove it, Troy Anderson may have to get here.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, absolutely. Troy Anderson in the new scheme with Ulbrich, a physical, fast defense. That's the kind of player Troy is as well. If Troy can stay healthy, man, Robert, I think, dude, we had the Montana kid being something special coming out of the draft, man. He was the real hype. Troy Anderson was supposed to be the steal of that draft class.
Exactly. And another player that we've touched on, and, I've told you boys, several times, he was the draft pick out of last year's class I was looking most forward to seeing before he got hurt was Braylon Trice.
Yes, sir.
If he can come back healthy, I think he can make some noise.
Yes, sir.
He looked pretty solid that draft night, sitting there, no brace on, no anything. I get it. You ain't really doing a whole lot of nothing, just standing there. But most of the time, you're still wearing a brace.
Yeah, he looked fully healed, Philip. That's a good point. Even as he walked away from taking the pictures and went somewhere else, there wasn't no limp. He did look healthy. So hope to see a Braylon Trice this year. Right? That's a great name.
Happy to be there.
Philip, and then over to Manuel, man, before we get ready to wrap this show up. We're at an hour and 7 minutes tonight, man, because the show has been popping off, guys. We got 20 live viewers here in the chat, man. There's no reason all 20 of you guys can't hit that like button for DFU and my guy, Atlanta Falcon Fandemic. So y'all be sure to subscribe to both channels. Hit the like on each channel, man, and leave some comments. Get the analytics popping here for the channel. Philip, give me your defense scenario, man, and then we'll pop it over to Emmanuel, and we'll get ready to give our shout-outs for tonight.
All right, so I think we're gonna pretty much be on the same page on this. I'm gonna give Onyemata, right there that DT bros, and then right beside him, it's tough because I want to say Root, but at the same time we still got Morgan Fox at the same time.
A veteran,
it's tough. I don't know, man. But of course, on the edge, to me, I'm gonna put Jalen Walker on one side, and I don't know. The other side is a little tricky to me, man. It's a little tricky. I don't know.
I don't think there's no trick about it.
I want to say James Pierce. I really do, but I'm thinking of Leonard Floyd at the same time. But
Leonard Floyd and that's what I'm saying, bro. There may be some cuts at the edge position. Somebody may.
This is a guy that was, James Pierce was compared to. The comparison was Leonard Floyd, same build, type, everything. So is Leonard Floyd going to teach him some things in this offseason that we don't know? What happened? We don't know. And he's going to be, that guy. So I'm going to put James Pierce on the other side too, but at the same time, it's iffy. The rest,
on edge, as Mateo says. Keep them fresh and healthy.
The rest, I feel like it's pretty much the same as everybody else's, especially with linebackers. You got Caden Ellis, obviously, and then I think it's going to be Troy. But at the same time,
Diablo, I'm
thinking of Diablo. He looked very, very
healthy. I don't mean to interrupt you, but JD Bertrand. JD
Bertrand. The guy had, was pretty solid that Washington game until he went out with a concussion, I believe.
Yep.
After that, we saw this. There wasn't no more sacks. There wasn't no more pressure. It was just dead after that because we didn't have that QB spy anymore. But that's a good, like you said, that's a good name there to put in that spot too. But I just don't think he's there just yet. So I'm gonna give it to Troy for right now.
Man, the question rotates over to you, brother. Who do you have on this D front and this D secondary? And then give me a shout-outs for tonight, brother. And I would say before you get started, it's been a pleasure to have you here tonight, dog.
Yes, sir.
It's been a pleasure to be on. I thank you so much. But guys, I'm trying to figure out why everybody's not mentioning Brandon Dorless.
Brandon Dorless.
He could be a sneaky one. He had a pretty good solid.
I'm down for it.
But Ruko Rojo, he's in my book, he's going to become a starter. No doubt, camp is going to be something to be watching out for, guys. There's a lot of competition in camp. They even brought back on the I don't know if you guys have seen the 18-man roster for the future picks. Future reserve contracts, but we brought back London as well. We brought back we brought back Kareem. So a lot of these guys are coming back. But I'm looking for Ruko Rojo to take over that spot where that's been left over by Grady Jarrett. I hate the fact that we let him go, but I understand it's a money thing, despite the loyalty. But at the same time, guys, I'm looking for Troy Anderson to not be here. I hate to say it.
Same.
One of the
I kind of feel that too, man.
Yeah, one of the best assets of any great player, man, is dependability. You got to be on the field. You can have a great first 5-6 games, but if you can't be on the field on the latter part of the season, it just does not work out. When we need, it does not work out. But I'm hoping Jalen will come in and fill that linebacker spot. I'm hoping Pierce make a very competitive defensive end, along with Braylon Trice. I'm really waiting to see what he has, to bring to the team. We didn't see what he had last year, so like I said, I'm waiting to see what he can do. Hopefully, he'll be able to. But what brings the question is, we know that's a Jimmy Lake guy.
Yep.
So does that make Braylon Trice expendable?
See the Braylon Trice and the Brandon Dorless, both those guys is a Jimmy Lake scheme type of guy. So that's what we mentioned last week, how this was an old defensive coordinator scheme. Where do these guys match up with a Jeff Ulbrich scheme? So yeah, that's a great point, man. Where do they line up at, and do they even have a spot on the team? So yeah, that's a great question.
Yeah, but Terry Fontenot had done a massive job, man. Like I said, he's signed these 18 players, guys, even before the draft. So he already had that part out, so it won't be a distraction later on, or risk either one of these players getting called to try out for other teams. And I'm thinking that is why he waited like immediately right after the draft and went and signed his undrafted free agents, because he don't want other teams coming to grab these players that could have possibly went further up in the draft. So Terry Fontenot has done a massive job. Camp is going to be. I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it.
I'm ready, man.
Yeah. Caden Ellis is our linebacker. We just need one other guy to step up in that middle linebacker spot. That's the only soft spot that I see on this defense. And we forgot, guys, we re-signed corner. What's his name?
Cornerback Mike Hughes.
D. Alford.
Yep.
Guys, but just because we re-signed him, he's going to be here. It's like I said, camp is going to be very competitive, unlike it has been in the past. At every position. Yeah. So even the quarterback position, Kirk Cousins is going to have to be competitive. He wants to be a starter any place else in this league if he's not going to be here with us. So the defense, guys, I'm waiting. I can't say it because we only lost one player that we really could have kept. But other than that, man, I'm looking for everybody to come in and have and show a whole lot of energy.
Absolutely. I'm ready to see the competition, man, at the safety position, the nickel. There's just all these rookies battling, man. The training camp is going to be heated. It's going to be lit, bro. And DFU is going to be there covering it every step of the way.
Maybe we get to a training camp where nobody's arguing and trying to fight.
I swear. Cody, we'll kick it off with you, dog. We'll kick it off with you, and we'll rotate it down and Mr. Manuel down here, our special guest. Give me your shout-outs for tonight, brother.
Yeah, man. Shout out to you guys for coming on, talking Dirty Bird football on a Saturday night. Say nothing better than getting into the weekend this way, guys. Shout out to Emmanuel, man. I would say it's great to have you on. It's been an absolute pleasure, sir. I'm glad you could make it. Hopefully we'll see you a lot more. Shout out to the Atlanta Falcons, man. I want to say if they're not here, we're not having a podcast, or we don't have anything to talk about. Also shout out to the wife out there watching. I can hear her in there. She was all excited to see her picture on the opening. So that was pretty cool, man. So thank you for that. Shout out to everybody who was in the comment section, man. I would say it absolutely went off.
Crazy tonight, Cody.
turned what could have been a 50-minute show into an hour 15 minutes, dude. I would say it's awesome. Shout out to 500 subscribers, man. I would say it's hard to believe, when I first joined this podcast, I think, we were right at 210, 215, man. And this thing has just absolutely exploded, and it's been great. So shout out to everybody that's liked, subscribed, watches us every time we come live, likes, comments, does all that stuff. Without you guys doing that stuff, the five of us don't have a reason to get together and talk Dirty Bird football on camera, no less, So shout out to y'all. But, again, shout out to you boys, coming on talking Dirty Bird football, and always rise up.
Rise up, Cody. It's always a pleasure to have you on the podcast, man. Glad to have you here tonight, as always. Robert, glad to have you, brother. What's going on, man? Give me a shout out for tonight, man.
Well, shout out to you guys for always letting me be a part of this. It's an honor and a privilege. It means more to me than I can ever let y'all know. Shout out to Manuel. It's an honor to have you here tonight, my friend. And once again, I want to say thank you for your words of encouragement through this little eye issue I've been having. Your prayers and your well wishes mean a lot to me, my friend. Shout out to our viewers, our subscribers. Without you guys, this isn't possible. Of course, shout out to the Falcons. We're here to talk Dirty Bird football, and without them, it's not possible. And as always, shout out to my family, Anna, Peyton, Zach, and Christy. I love you all, and as always, rise up.
Rise up, Mr. Mega Bill. Philip, a.k.a. Mr. Evans. Give me a shout-out for tonight, brother.
Shout out to the good Lord above, man. We're here another night doing this, man, having the opportunity just to do this. It's always a blessing, man. I love doing content, man. This is like my dream job one day, man. This is what I want to do just strictly. So shout out to God, man, for allowing this to happen.
Listen, I was going to tell you, we can give you a 25-cent raise, but no more than $4 an hour.
He's always got jokes. Okay. Shout out to you, boys. Shout out to you, Manuel, for being here, man. It's always a pleasure to have any guest on here, man. And I'm glad this is your second time. I hope it's been a blast both times, man. Shout out to everybody in the comments. Shout out to everyone for the 500. We really appreciate that, man. We're just gonna keep growing, dude. It's gonna get even better, man. Shout out to the Dirty Birds. Can't wait for this season. Can't wait for the just the battles and just camp in general, just the competition that we're gonna see and get to cover, man. It's gonna be so fun. And as always, man, y'all already know, rise up.
Rise up.
Rise up, Mr. Evans. Glad to have you here on the podcast. Manuel McFarland, Atlanta Falcons fan. Damn it, people, give you a hand. Give him a hand. Manuel McFarland, glad to have you here tonight, brother. Falcon fans, if you're a subscriber of DFU, there's no reason not to be subscribed to every other Falcon content creator there is. So check out my guy, Atlanta Falcon Fandemic on YouTube. Give him a subscribe. Leave a comment. Let him know DFU sent you. Manuel, give me a shout-out for tonight, brother. It's been a pleasure to have you on the podcast.
Oh, man, I'll tell you what, it's been a pleasure to be here. But first of all, give a shout out to my Lord and Savior, Jehovah God. He put us on 2 feet today, guys.
Yes, sir.
What more can we can handle anything else that come along. Just wake us up to be able to, to confront it. But guys, appreciate you having you on. Congratulations on your 500 count subscriber.
Thank you,
thank you so much for the love. Guys, shout out to the guys on Come On In Sports Network. They brought me on as well. They can be found on all platforms. Come on in Sports Network.
Come on in Sports Network. Check them out.
Yeah, and recently, guys, former NFL player Harper LaBelle, our long snapper from 91 through 95, he has invited me on to be a part of his platform.
Hey, yes, sir. That's what I'm talking about.
His platform. Up. Yeah, 100 yards of football, guys. 100 yards of football, Sports Network. Great. Oh, my goodness. You can't tell that he's just starting this year. So he's been around a long time, played for several teams, but 11 years in the league. I mean, he's a down-to-earth guy, guys. I will make the introduction, and we will.
Send me that link, man. Send me that link when you do that.
Most certainly. And but guys, shout out to Atlanta Falcons, man. They've been my team since 1978.
I see.
Never wanted to waver and be no place else. They given me something to talk about every year of my since then.
Yes, sir.
at 8 years old, man, Steve Barkowski made me the fan of it for the ages, man. And I'm telling you, and then in the following year, William Andrews gets drafted, and I was hooked on line and sinker ever since then. But shout out to Atlanta Falcons, man, and hopefully we get this Super Bowl thing rolling and establish some type of dynasty here. And so hopefully they'll stop penalizing us. So raising these ticket prices. So,
Yeah.
so guys, thank you once again. It's been a blast, guys. Hopefully we can do work again sometime in the future.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely, man. You're always welcome here to DFU, man. Falcon fans, shout out to all you guys for tuning in tonight, leaving the likes. We had over a total views wise, we reached like 26 views tonight, man, on the live. So that's pretty nice to have 26 live viewers tuning in on a Saturday night to watch some Falcon content, man. We appreciate you guys. We appreciate all the comments, man. I was not able to select all these comments because there's like for sure over 100 comments right here, guys. Shout out to everybody that came through tonight, man, and left a comment, whether it was just a rise up or congrats on the 500. Mateo, thank you, brother, for being a subscriber to reach that 500. Also, I want to give a shout out to the 501 subscriber. We gained a new subscriber here tonight, guys. So 501 on the podcast, man. Shout out to everybody.
I just play.
Shout out to everybody that's been here, man. Shout out to my awesome co-hosts, Cody, Philip, Robert, and Rick, man. This show's not possible without you guys. And I tell you this every podcast because it's dead ass. It's really true, man. I could not do it without you guys. Manuel, thank you, brother, for coming through and talking Falcon football tonight. We will be linking up very soon. Guys, Atlanta Falcon Fandemic. Search it on YouTube and give this man a subscribe, man. Let him know DFU sent you guys. We appreciate everybody that's here tonight. DFU is getting ready to get up out of here and close this thing out. As always, A-Town down, rise up, man. We out of here. Much love.